government just flipped the food pyramid upside down. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know if you should be taking your advice about what you should eat from the government.
I totally agree, but it is interesting that they went from, like grains and cereal on top to now that's
Right.
at the bottom. And now the dairy and protein and fats and meat are on top.
Yeah, I think probably the
Or maybe on
original.
bottom, just, most important.
Yeah, right. I think probably the food pyramid to begin with was a marketing ploy to try to get Americans to consume more grains. The reason was the same thing we've already talked about. The government was trying to push the production of grains in order to depopulate the rural areas, industrialize the country, and prepare for war. Because grain is a strategic reserve.
This podcast is brought to you by BeMicro, organic freeze-dried microgreens for easy, everyday nutrition. Sprinkle them on any meal and enjoy the benefits. Shop now at BeMicro.farm and use PLANT15 to save 15% off your next order.
One of the best things about grains is that you can store them at room temperature for indefinite periods of time with very little loss of the macronutrients just by keeping them dry. And so that means you can create a strategic reserve of grains that you can't do with milk or apples or potatoes or rhubarb. So
McDonald's seems to have figured out how to have a 100-year shelf life on apples and everything they're making.
there is more and more tricks that we are doing to kind of stop, natural decay. I'm not sure that's good. Those will all come with, unintended consequences. Every time you have this chemical-free lunch, please be skeptical. The thing that I'm seeing a lot now, that I will make a prediction, in 5 or 10 years, we will all be talking about how insane it was that we were putting hydrophobic coatings on everything. On our windshield, on our carpet, on our clothing. Now, you know what I'm talking about. Hydrophobic coatings are you spill your wine on your clothes and it beads and runs off and it doesn't cause a stain. What do you think that's doing in your gut?
Yeah.
What do you think that's doing?
Because it's absorbing into your skin, it's getting into you.
Yeah, whatever that coating is that they're putting on that is going to break down. It's going to find its way into your arteries and your brain, and who knows what it's going to do. But I predict in 5 or 10 years, we'll find out what it's going to do, or at least a little bit of it. And then, it's like the BPA thing. Oh, well, this one plasticizer that we studied, turns out it's really bad. Well, what about all the ones we didn't study? So I think that those chemical-free lunch kind of amazing wonder drug kind of approaches, like how do we make apples not spoil? What are the unintended consequences of that? So that's why I would say we got to be more humble about how much we know. Science is great. I believe in science, but these things are very complex to study. Human nutrition, natural systems, so many different interactions. As soon as you have 5 different chemicals, you have, how many? 5 squared type, 25 different ways of them interacting with each other with just 2, any 2 of them or what? I don't know. I might have my math wrong, but the minute you get to 50,000 chemicals and then different organisms and different conditions.
And it's coming in from everywhere. I've just recently become aware of what you're saying. I've switched over all my clothing to 100% cotton, wool.
Right.
So
natural.
it's like, how do we, the body can detoxify itself, but how do you stop that stuff from getting in?
Right. And we'll never be 100% anymore because Pandora's box is open.
Yep. It's in the water. It's in the air. How do we?
But you were asking me about, am I optimistic? Our bodies are amazing. We can deal with these toxins as long as we don't overwhelm ourselves and we give ourselves the right nutritional building blocks in our bodies to function properly. And that's kind of simple. You eat fresh. Eat as close to nature as you can. Eat locally as much as you can. Think about how it was 1,000 years ago and try to do that. And that will give you the best chance. At least that's my theory.
How would you describe your diet? What are you eating on a normal basis?
Yeah, I eat mostly what we produce. So I have a little farm store on my farm, and that's my store. And I go in there. And very little of what I get is from outside. And I'm not a purist. I'm a little bit of a junk food junkie. I don't need a lot of refined sugars, but I don't stop myself if there's a Kit Kat bar. So I think of it this way. There's two things. Well, there's really three things that could be wrong with any food that you would consume. There are three categories. The one category is stuff that's in there that you really shouldn't eat. Stuff that's really bad for you. That's
Chemicals.
So pesticides, herbicides,
just weird
coatings,
stuff on the ingredient
emulsifiers,
like, what are all these words?
Preservatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and stuff that's not on the ingredient list.
True.
That's the thing. There's a lot of fuckery.
Yeah.
The more you learn about something, the more you're like, oh, it says flour, but it doesn't say bromine and all these other things that are being treated. It's treated, or it's being exposed to it. You know, it's wheat flour, but it doesn't say glyphosate there, but that's in there too.
Yeah.
So there's the things that you really don't want to consume. The second category would be stuff that you really need that you're not getting enough of. So this food is good. Maybe there's nothing bad in there, but it's also missing all these other things that we need. So the nutrient deficiency. So it's what you're getting that you shouldn't get. It's what you're not getting that you should get. And then I would say the third category is, okay, this food is great. It doesn't have anything I shouldn't eat. It has a lot of the things I should eat, but at what cost to the environment and the globe and energy and humans? You know, was there exploitation? So those are the three things I want to think about when I consume. The first two, it seems like a lot of that is a matter of degree. So, you know, we're all going to get tiny levels of pesticides and toxins. It's everywhere. We just talked about that. It's unavoidable, but let's just try to keep it minimal. A lot of the worst effects of that are cumulative over long periods of time, or their interactions between different kinds of chemicals. And we just want to minimize that. On the second front, it's like you can eat some empty calories as long as you're getting the nutrient density somewhere in your diet. So I would like to try to think about it as like 80-20. I'm going to do 80%. I know where it's from. I know it doesn't have bad stuff. I know it's really nutrient dense.
And you know it because you're growing all of it. You're shopping out of your own store.
Maybe I'm a control freak, but I mean, I'm literally eating my own wheat.
Yeah.
I'm eating my own meat.